Banning meat is a cruel demonstration. It is stealing from the poor, nothing less. As an Indonesian environmentalist, I would not advocate vegetarianism for the following reasons. 1. Indonesia is a secular nation and the culture of eating food differs across communities, regions, and religions. This idea of Indonesian is non-negotiable for me as a reflects our richness and orality. 2. Meat is an important source of protein for a large number of people, hence critically for their nutritional security. 3. And this is what distinguishes my Indonesian position from the global. Meat eating is not the key issue. It is the amount that is consumed and the manner in which it is produced. A recent global assessment, for the instance, on average eat 122 kg per year or per person, and Indonesian 3 to 5 kilograms per year per person. This high meat consumption is bad for health and for the environment. In fact, the average American consumption of meat is 1.5 times the average protein requirement, all produced with extremely high environmental impact. Meat production in the developing world is a very different, but the most important reason I, as an Indonesian environmentalist, would not support action against meat is that livestock is the most important economic security of farmers in our world. Indonesian farmers practice agropastoralism, they use the land for crops and trees as well as for livestock. This is the real insurance system, not the banks. Livestock is also not kept by large meat business, but by big, small, and marginal and landless farmers. It works because the animals have a productive purpose. First, they give milk and manure, and then meat and leather. Take that away, and you will take away the base of economic security of millions in the country, greatly impoverishing them. Meat such as chicken, pork, lamb, and beef are all rich in protein. Red meat provides us with iron, zinc, and vitamins B. Meat is one of the main sources of vitamin B12 in the diet. Meat is one of the main sources of vitamin B12 in the diet. Food hygiene is important when storing, preparing, and cooking meat. In many parts of the world, meat makes up a considerable portion of a typical diet. It contributes protein, minerals, vitamins, and fat. And these nutrients are important for their beneficial effect on your well-being. However, some components of meat, such as saturated fats, can confer negative health consequences. However, it's up to you to weigh the pros and cons when you're choosing whether to include meat in your diet. Ban would be a terrible blow to rural communities. No one with a soul could argue in favor of factory farms, but I don't think it's helpful to hold up the worst example from a large and varied industry with the implication this is norm. Banning the eating of meat is a blunt instrument, and many of the objectives you list can be reached without resorting to it. Agricultural land is unstable for growing crops. 90% of farmland in Berau, for example, where I am, a ban of the keeping of livestock would immediately render my country totally reliant on food import. In many rural areas, farming is also a long-standing element of the local community. Sweeping in with bans would be a terrible blow culturally, economically, and emotionally. Shifting from an omnivorous diet to a vegetarian one, suddenly and on a massive scale, would also create enormous pressure further down the supply chain. And intensively arable farming is a terrible for biodiversity, resulting in a huge swath of monocultural land. In contrast, pasture land for non-intensive grazing is often rich in wildflower species and the insects that go with them. So, a mass and upward change of diet is a recipe for ill-thought-out arable farming practice. As suppliers race to meet demand, sudden change tend to benefit huge companies, which have the resource and the manpower to adapt over the small-scale producer. The crucial point is that animals' welfare and the environmental standards should be established, respected, and policed. Avocados and other vegetables and grains have the potential to be farmed sustainably, so does meat. So, we reject the motion of banning the production and the consumption of meat. Thank you.